These construction workers are doing Ragio Taiso, a popular morning workout routine in Japanese schools and workplaces. Because, well, this is Japan. The population of blue-collar immigrant workers like these has skyrocketed in Japan. They work in convenience stores, wait tables, and build houses and roads. But officially, they don't exist. Japan's shrinking population is leaving little choice but to open its doors to foreigners like never before. The question is Japan ready to be an immigrant country? I'm Isabel New. This is Quartz. Please subscribe to our channel. This is Dou Xiaowen. She's from southern China and one of the 1.5 million foreign workers in Japan.
我现在是在釜山市的一所公立医院做手术室护士，今年应该是第7年了。
By 2025, Japan estimates it will be short about 377,000 nurses and caregivers.
我觉得日本是没有办法了。如果就是同等条件的，他们可能会更偏向于聘用一个日本人。 但是现在问题是没有。
It's not just nursing. With infrastructure projects for the 2020 Olympics underway, there are 4.3 construction jobs open for every person who applies. Between 2016 and 2017, the number of bankruptcies in Japan caused by staff shortages doubled. And the problem is only going to get worse. That's because Japan's population is shrinking by about 400,000 people a year. And to make matters worse, the percentage of that population who can work is also getting smaller. This is not just a Japan problem. Populations are aging around the world. The developed world is set to lose 10% of its working age population this century. To slow down this trend, a lot of countries have turned to immigrants. And in a very limited way, Japan has too. Over the past few decades, the country has been letting in a small number of low-skilled foreign workers. They just don't like to talk about it.
The usage of immigration policy is still a kind of prohibited here.
This is Professor Chieko Kamibayashi, who studies Japan's convoluted foreign labor policy.
You're teaching a prohibited subject.
So I say, just foreign workers' problems.
Foreign workers in Japan are either specially skilled workers like Dou Xiaowen, or they're low-skilled workers doing menial jobs on visas for trainees and students. There are hundreds of thousands who fall into the second category. They're indispensable to Japan's economy, but rarely talked about in the media, until last year. In 2018, Japan passed a law that would allow 345,000 blue-collar foreign workers to come in over the next 5 years, officially opening the country to unskilled workers.
今までサービス産業で働く労働者に対するビザはなかったんです。で、初めてそうした産業で働く人たちのための在留資格ができたっていうのが一番新しいことです。
Prime Minister Shinzo Abe said the law will help small firms across Japan cope with the labor shortage problem. Outside the country, the law was billed as an immigration overhaul. But the government insists these workers won't be immigrants. The type of visa low-skilled workers can apply for is capped at 5 years and does not allow them to bring their families. Basically, come and work here, but don't plan on staying.
For short term, it will fill the labor vacancies, but the middle and long run, it's not desirable at all.
Kamibayashi says the policy could end up creating a second-class workforce that hurts the society in the long run. And she points to Germany as a cautionary tale. In the 1960s, Germany invited hundreds of thousands of guest workers from Turkey to fill its labor shortage. The government made no effort to help them integrate or upgrade their skills, and then told them to leave when a recession hit. But about half of the workers didn't leave. Today, the Turks are the largest minority group in Germany and also the least integrated, with an unemployment rate nearly 3 times the national average.
we are going to the same step as Germany did.
Another criticism of the new law is that it makes it easier to exploit low-skilled foreign workers, something that's happening under existing regulations. Each year, thousands of foreign workers flee harsh work conditions to go underground. Some have found refuge in temporary shelters, like this one in Gihu. It's run by Zheng Kai, a Chinese labor activist who has lived in Japan for decades.
现在来求助的这些研究生，他们不光是西服的，他们是来自日本全国各地，现在有14个人。
Here I met Huang Shihu. He's 27 and came to Japan as a trainee 2 years ago. Huang worked at a small cardboard factory, making $900 a month. But shortly after starting the job, he lost 3 fingers while operating a machine.
我都不知道这个机器是怎么操作的。
后来他们怎么处理了呢？
他就是让我回去，然后还说是我的这个全部责任，他只是一个幌子，我觉得。
Huang is in Japan under a government-run program called TITP, which brings foreign workers here for a few years to train them in Japanese companies. Most of the people at this shelter were under TITP. At 65, Ippei Tori is one of the most prominent immigrant rights advocates in Japan. He's been one of the fiercest critics of TITP, and he's joined by a number of international human rights groups who say the program allows for widespread exploitation, including human trafficking and forced labor. I reached out to the government offices overseeing the trainee program, but they declined to comment. Despite rampant violations, the government plans to further expand TITP, which doubled in size in the last 5 years. At the end of their training program, trainees can apply for the new visa under last year's law and keep working.
日本政府这次的对这个制度的改革呢，就好像现在他是用泥巴，是用锯子把它修补，还要拿它继续再去盛饭。 其实呢，这已经漏了的晚了。
By some estimates, Japan could accommodate as many as 15 million foreigners in the coming decades. The fact is, Japan's future depends on immigrants. Do you see Japan ever becoming an immigrant country?
実はもう今なってるんですね。その事実を私たちは見なきゃいけないと思います。だから今の質問でその質問の意味はおそらくその移民の人たちにとってふさわしい国になってるかということだと思うんですけど、そうなっていきたいなと思います。
Japan is taking other steps to deal with this shrinking population. When you become a Quartz member, you can watch my next video. It's about a Japanese government campaign to raise the fertility rate by making fatherhood sexy. Sign up for a free trial here.